Hey guys, it's Tuesday of my birthday week vlog. This is my annual vlog where I record the week of my birthday, or the week that my birthday lands in. I've been doing it for the past couple of years. It's fun for me. I get to kind of reflect on what my year looks like and how it's changed, how my daily life changes year to year. So I find that very interesting to document. But otherwise, it's just an excuse to vlog my week and be intentional about my week and talk about what I'm reading and check in. And yesterday I only took footage of what I was doing throughout the day, but it was a Monday, pretty normal, typical start of the week when I went to the gym and did some writing and some prep work for future videos and made dinner, stayed at home. I called my mom because it was her birthday, and we FaceTimed with my sister and my brother-in-law later. So a day filled with catching up with family, which was nice. It's cute. My mom's birthday is about a week before mine. So my birthday is this coming Sunday. So these are days preceding my birthday. But I like ending with my birthday for this vlog. So that's why I set it up this way. Pretty uneventful day today. I got up and I did a Peloton ride and some yoga this morning, and then I've been just normal, boring house care type stuff, taking care of Halen, and got ready, and I'm sitting down, and I have some work I want to do this afternoon. I have some a lot of annoying tasks today, but I will do them. I will be an adult and do them. Just errands to run, phone calls to make, mail to look through, all of that boring stuff. That's not fun, but has to get done. So kind of doing that this afternoon. And then tonight I need to figure out what we're doing for dinner, if I should make something. And if so, get some ingredients, because I'm completely out of ingredients. I've just been scavenging snacks for food today, which is not good. I should be eating real food, but I have nothing to make, nothing to eat. Need to figure that out. Anyway, just a lot of housekeeping, life-keeping today. But tonight, I'm going to have a movie night with Katie, and I think we're going to watch Petite Maman, because I want to watch it, even though I feel that it may make me cry, but it's a movie I've been wanting to watch, and it kind of fits with this theme. Last week, we watched My Old Ass, which was fantastic. I hadn't heard of it, and Katie picked it for last week, and I just loved it. It's a comedy, but there is a central piece that surprised me, that had to do with grief and love and life, and so I bawled. We were just crying at the end. Thought it was a fantastic movie that's really gone under my radar. So if it's gone under yours as well, go look it up, see if you'd be interested in it, because I thought it was an excellent movie. Other than that, so movie night tonight. And then tomorrow's my laundry day, so I'm doing laundry and hopefully getting some work done, and then writing and some other work that I want to do. And just a very normal day. The next few days are pretty normal. And then, we'll see. For sure, on my birthday, we'll go get dinner. We're trying to figure out where to go. And, kind of do something fun in the city on Sunday. But otherwise, it's a pretty normal week. So you'll get to see just like what a normal week in 2025 looks like for me. This week I'm reading All About Love by Bell Hooks. I'm getting through it. I should be able to finish it in the next day or so. I think it's great. I have known about Bell Hooks and known like how well respected she is, the essence of what she writes about a little bit. This is my first read through of All About Love, and I think it's excellent. As I've been reading it, I've been having conversations with people, and I keep thinking like, I want to keep recommending this to everybody I speak to, because I feel like there's like something in this for everybody. Whatever stage in your life you're at, whatever concern you might presently be having about life or your relationships or your like motherhood or being a child and self-love, all of these things you might be thinking about. I feel like there's like something in here for you. So I don't know. It's almost like one of those books where it's fairly timeless. There's a few things in here that like I feel like are a little of its time, like late 90s, early 2000s. But for the most part, I feel like you could read this at several different points of your life, and every time something new would jump out at you. Yeah, it just feels like one of those. I guess I should read what it's about. It's nonfiction. Let's see. Here at her most provocative and intensely personal, the renowned scholar, cultural critic, and feminist skewers our view of love as romance. In its place, she offers a proactive new ethic for a people and a society bereft with lovelessness. It's subverting your ideas around love as being purely a romantic notion, and she's really empowering the reader to place an importance around love, and letting it show up in every facet of your life, whether that be romantic, familial, with friends, with yourself, and then as you interact with your community and the world at large. Her argument is that basically making love more paramount in all aspects of life would make the world a better place. She uses anecdotal, personal reflections and experiences and relationships to discuss some of the themes and the concepts, but then also a lot of her research is woven in. And I think it's like a very accessible read, like very easy nonfiction, very understandable, and you can like immediately start applying some of these concepts and how you think about yourself and your relationships. And so, yeah, it's a good read. I'm glad I finally read it. But like I said, it feels like one that you could keep coming back to over and over again. And it would be, fulfilling every time. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in a little bit. Hi, it's Thursday. Checking in, giving a little update as my week has progressed. I watched Petite Maman on Tuesday evening. Yeah, Tuesday night with Katie. And it was excellent. Although it deals with grief and loss and death, I felt that it was more of a comforting hug than like a trying to destroy you type storyline. But you really feel something. We were talking and reflecting how like movies and books, they don't need to be like so devastating for you to feel something. And I felt like this was one of those movies where you do feel, but you don't have your heart like ripped apart and mangled. There's a time travel element, but it doesn't feel super like sci-fi, or it's more this like childlike fantasy, and so it's more, I don't know, whimsy and tenderness, and it was just excellent. So anyway, highly recommend. And then Wednesday, I just, like, it was just a busy day. I went for a run and did my laundry, washed my bedding and all of that. And then we just had a quiet night. We didn't do anything crazy, and I didn't end up I don't think I really vlogged last night, but we just had takeout and watched Yellow Jackets. I'm unsure if I think that it is a good show, but regardless, it is a fun show. It's insanely gory, and I always forget, and then we're eating dinner and someone's face gets like bitten open. But yeah, sometimes I think the writing is not good, and I don't love all of the acting performances. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I don't know if it's good, but it's fun. Okay, we've been watching Yellow Jackets, been watching good movies. I've been listening to kind of a trifecta of women. I've been listening to FKA Twig's new album, Eusexua, which came out a few days ago, and been on repeat. It's a great running album. And then I've also been listening to Doechie's new album and Raven Lenae's new album. They both came out last year, but I've been listening to them this month. And like all three, I feel like, oh, so good. Like so fun, dancey music, super stylish, but also just like make you feel powerful. In other news, I finished All About Love. Yeah, finished this morning, and I've just kind of been thinking on it throughout the day. Like I was saying before, a very useful book. I think a lot of people would find use from it. I think it presents a lot of good concepts and thoughts, and I think would be helpful in just like meditating on your own relationship with love and relationships. In this reading, in this current like mental space I'm in, I think the main points I came away with were, one, that I really liked her definition, or her way of describing what love truly is. There's multiple ingredients that make up love, and without all of them together, love isn't existing. So she says, to truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients: care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and trust, as well as honest and open communication. And then the second part that I really took away from this is that she talks about love being a practice, not a feeling, but a practice. You have to keep honing and working at it and building on it within yourself and your relationships. But yeah, I'm repeating myself, but I do feel like it would be worth like flipping through this every once in a while at different points in my life, because there's just a lot in here, and some things are more important to me than others at this time in my life, and so it kind of like different things spoke to me. But as in general, I think it's been really, really nice to read this right now. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot happening in the world. There's a lot happening in the United States right now. And maybe because of those things, or just coincidentally, there's a lot happening in my mental health right now. And so all of those things combined, it's a lot and it's overwhelming. And I think at least some of these parts, some of the parts in the book, like, were empowering in ways that I needed right now. And make me feel a little bit more softer towards a lot of the like anxiety I've been feeling, and more compassionate towards myself. One other part in the book that has helped me kind of think about all of that is when she talks about forgiveness. I don't know if I could find the quote right away. I'm just thinking of this now. Much of the anger and rage we feel about emotional lack is released when we forgive ourselves and others. Forgiveness opens us up and prepares us to receive love. I don't know, that rang true for me, because I do think that anger and stubborn resentment kind of blocks an opening for connection. So that rang true to me. That was really helpful at this time. Taking that with me as I enter my 32nd year, coming up on Sunday. Okay, that's all the reading updates. For now, I'm going to kind of leave this little part of the vlog. I've got to go make dinner. I'm making some salmon tonight, and then, yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Anyway, I'll keep vlogging. I'll check in again later. Talk to you soon. Okay, we've made it. It's the end of the vlog, the final part of my birthday week vlog. It's been a few days since the week ended, but I wanted to just do a little end chat, close it out and kind of finish a reading wrap up, and also do some reading updates, and also show you a couple of books that I got for my birthday. So you would have seen that not only was I reading All About Love, but I was also reading a couple of other books. I had been I'm still working my way through Little Women, Louisa May Alcott. Katie got me this beautiful copy for Christmas, just this old vintage copy. I'll show you the interior covers because they're beautiful. This gorgeous green and white. Yeah, this is my first time reading Little Women. If you watched Reba Wrapped, everything but books, like the other things that I consumed last year, my favorites, you'll have heard me talk about the 1994 Little Women movie and how much I adore that movie. It's been a favorite since childhood, and how I watched it again last year. But that being said, the movie adaptations have mostly been my only association with Little Women until this year. I started this in January, and I'm enjoying just slowly making my way through this book. It's made up of like small little chapters that kind of have they're like complete little slice of life like stories in themselves. So it all involves the girls, Jo and her sisters, but then each story there's almost like a little moral that they learn from like an experience or something that happens. And so it's quite sweet and charming, and I'm like, it's really like cozy. I don't know. I'm enjoying slowly going through it. Then I started this the night before my birthday, I think Saturday night, I want to say. But this little novel, The Emissary by Yōko Tawada, I think I actually got this last year around my birthday, and I'm finally getting to it. I loved the covers so much, and I also found the premise really interesting. So I finished it already because it's quite slim, and I am still thinking about it. I am not sure if I have proper thoughts on it yet, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's just a weird little book, and I liked how weird it was. I really did. It's like a dystopian novel that takes place in Japan. But in this dystopian scenario, Japan has decided to kind of replay their Edo period, and the primary story is more focused on characters. The main character is Yoshiro, who is an older gentleman, and he lives with Mume, his great-grandson, and he's Mume's guardian, and he takes care of him. But they have a very interesting relationship. It's interesting because the great-grandfather has seen two other generations come and go before Mume, and his closest relationship has been with Mume, who's the furthest away from him in age. But the great-grandfather, his generation, for some reason, I don't think it's like explained, his generation, Yoshiro's, is basically they might not die. They don't know if they're going to die or not. So they could live forever. And what's heartbreaking about that is he's watched these generations like deteriorate. He watches as the other people in his life die, and he continues to live on. So there's this like sadness in that, and the saddest of all is Mume's generation, his great-grandson. Those kids are like little weaklings. Like they don't have enough muscle power or strength or energy to be like normal kids. But they seem to have a pretty powerful intellect that is valued by a specific group in the book. There's an interesting friction and tension between the two, Mume and Yoshiro, because of their different outlooks on life and their different navigations of life. One of them is like very weak, but has a very like positive, a very wise way of reasoning. And Yoshiro's been through a lot, and he's seen a lot happen. He's a passionate person. He's a writer, and feels, he's very emotional. But he seems to learn a lot from Mume. And so it's really sweet. The relation is very, very sweet. All of that is happening, and there's a hint at more of an actionable plot line that never comes to fruition. And I think that's like left me a little bit like, oh, I thought we were going to go somewhere with that, but it's more, I don't think that was the intention, but it made it maybe a little bit not exactly what I would have loved from this book. I don't think that means this is a bad book. I think this was a really exceptional, like, interesting, there's this magical absurdism through the book, and I loved how Tawada kind of weaved in and out of the characters, and also like jumped forward in time. There's like time travel here. There's so much magic to it that I found quite interesting, and the very end of it is quite like trippy. So there was a lot I liked about this, and I also wanted a little bit something different from it. That's kind of where I'm landing with it now. I don't know what that will look like when I formally write down a review, but all I know is I'm very, very interested in this author. This may not have been the exact perfect vessel of her work for me, but it made me want to read more from her. And then I don't want to talk too long, but I do want to just give an update that I have now moved on to the second book, kind of a reread, not a full reread, but I am going through and taking notes on the second book in the Southern Reach trilogy. Once I'm done with this, I will be reading the final two books, and then from compiling all the notes together, putting it into some sort of video essay for my last New Weird installment. So I have been working on that this week too. Finally, I'm going to show you the books I picked up. I went to the Strand bookstore a couple of days ago because I had an appointment down by Union Square, and I bought some books there, and then I got a book online as well. So I'll show you those. Okay. The first two books that I got at the bookstore are ones that came out last year and piqued my interest, and then they ended up on a lot of people's favorite books of the year lists. That made me want to pick them up more and made me pretty sure that they were books that I would like. And also, bonus that they are now out in paperback, so I didn't have to buy the hard copy, which I definitely prefer reading a paperback book. That being said, first one, Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I feel like I talked about wanting to read this in a couple of videos last year, so I'm really happy to finally own my own copy. My vague understanding of it is about a addict that gets obsessed with martyrs. And then that obsession leads him into learning more about his family, I think. But either way, it's been getting tons of praise. When I first saw the cover, I just fell in love with it because I think it's such a striking design. And I'm happy that they kept the design pretty similar with the paperback. So excited to have this. Second book, another book that came out last year, Alphabetical Diaries by Sheila Heti. I love the concept of this book, which is that she took a bunch of her journal entries, organized them in alphabetical order, and then from there kind of edited that down, those entries down into this book. I find that concept really, really interesting. It's really intriguing to me. Again, loved the design of the cover. Happy that it looks similar in the paperback. And yeah, my only association, or my only experience with Sheila Heti has been reading Motherhood. I really liked a lot of what she said, and I really liked her way of talking about things, her voice, I guess, in that book. But the book as a whole wasn't like perfect for me. So it made me Heti curious, but it wasn't like my perfect book. So I'm really excited to read this one because I think she's really interesting. And the premise of this, it just seems really fun. And a lot of people loved it. So we'll see. On the kind of discount shelf, this jumped out at me. It's a collection of stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. The main story highlighted in the collection is When I Was a Witch. This jumped out at me because the top corner says essential gothic, sci-fi, and dark fantasy. And that sounded really interesting. The back says a spirited and essential selection of early feminist fiction. That also spoke to me. And then I knew I had heard of this name before, Charlotte Perkins Gilman, but I couldn't figure out why. So I Googled her while in the store and found that she's the person who wrote The Yellow Wallpaper, something I haven't read. But I do know that story is really famous, and it's been on my radar to read at some point. I actually don't think it's in this collection, so I'll have to find that and read that separately. Yeah, she sounds like somebody I should know about with my gothic feminist leanings, and so yeah, I'm really excited to read this. And you can't beat less than $8 for a new copy of a book. So anyways, it seems great, and we'll report once I've read it. And then finally, I ahead of time had ordered a book online because I wasn't sure if I would be able to find it in stores. But another author that I am really curious to read more from is Ursula K. Le Guin. I read The Left Hand of Darkness, which is one of the books in her Hainish Cycle series. I read that last year on audio while I was packing to move, and I really, really liked it. I would like to read it again in print and have a more intimate experience reading it. But before I read it again, I wanted to read the first 3 books in that series. I think The Left Hand of Darkness is the most popular, most favorited of the books in the series, and a lot of people start with that one. But I believe chronologically she wrote these ones first: Rocannon's World, Planet of Exile, and City of Illusions. And I think the point of the Hainish Cycle is that they're more like all the books just exist in the same universe. They're not like prequels or sequels of each other, and so you can read them in different orders. But I don't know, I wanted to read these 3, and the 3 books are all collected in this big this is like Tor Publishing. I described her writing to Jaden as cozy sci-fi because I found The Left Hand of Darkness really comforting and not so doomy, pessimistic, cynical as some other futurist sci-fi happens to be. So she seems incredibly cool. I've watched some interviews with her, and she wrote the intro to the poetry collection by Rainer Maria Rilke that I read last year. Anyway, I'm really excited about these new books, and yeah, the fun thing about having a birthday early in the year is you kind of get like to look ahead and plan for your year as you're entering a new age. And so that's kind of fun. I just turned 32 years old. I've been doing a lot of reflecting and looking ahead. Today I'm feeling quite optimistic and energized, but of course every day is different. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.